revealing my entire investment portfolio, which as of December 2024 stands at £146,000. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly where every penny of that is invested. But before we get into that, I know what you're thinking. Yes, I go to the gym. And no, I'm not on steroids. I know the vest is a bit ropey, but it's literally 30 degrees. So I couldn't go topless because that content's on my OnlyFans. So had to put a vest on for this YouTube video. Also, before we start, who put that there? What's Stop Wayne Start Investing? What's that? Wow, looks like a good book actually. Anyway, my investment portfolio. Let me show you. 60 million down the drain. Can I have a scores again? This is my investment portfolio tracker, and this here, on the left you can see all the numbers, and on the right that's my total investment portfolio, although that excludes pensions. So if I actually scroll down a little bit, I've got another version that includes pensions, and I actually include my pensions because ultimately I know money is locked away, but it's my money and it's invested, so, and it will still form part of my sort of retirement planning and financial plan, which is why I personally look at my total investment portfolio including my pensions. But that's a separate point. This here now on the right is literally everything I invest into. So if you're being nosy and just want to see that, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Also as well, actually, this is my 100th video. I meant to mention that at the start. And I've got about 5,000 subscribers. So, not the best video to subscriber ratio in the world, but 50 subs. So to the 50 people that are going to subscribe watching this, welcome to the channel. But anyway, before I keep getting sidetracked, before I go into the actual details, you can see on the left, I've actually contributed of my own money £91,000. Although of that, about £10,000 to £15,000 is free money, essentially employer matched workplace contributions, and also some free money from the government in my stocks and shares lifetime ISA. The equity, or the actual value, is £146,000. So the actual sort of growth, the gain, the return is £55,000. So that's over the last 7 years. The way that I like to look at it though is essentially my own cash contribution out of my pocket, which is just mainly from my 9-to-5 job, my salary that I invest every single month and now have done for the last 7 years, and I've increased those contributions over time. My actual cash out of pocket is about £78,000 to £80,000, and the portfolio value is about £146,000. So some of the gains are from the free money, and then some of the gains are from growth from the investments. So on the right, you can see the specific investments, and I want to get into those shortly. But if you actually scroll down, you can see this handy investment overview. And I know this spreadsheet is so good, isn't it? It took me years and years to perfect this, but now I'm very happy with it. On the right, you can see investment by type. So essentially, about 80% is in index funds and ETFs, and all of those are global index funds and ETFs. If I scroll a little bit up, you can see the index fund and ETF split. Most of the money is in the FTSE Global All Cap, which makes up 100% of my stocks and shares ISA, 100% of my stocks and shares lifetime ISA, and 100% of my SIP. I then have the Global Index Fund, which is in my UK workplace pension. I've got Mersive Passive International Shares, which is a global fund in my Australian workplace pension. And I've then got VGS, which is another low-cost global ETF in my Vanguard Australia account. And then VWRP is essentially the only investment I have really in my free trade and trading 212 general investment accounts. So I do get asked, why do I have so many funds? It's essentially because I've got some English investing accounts, some Australian investing accounts. I've got a lot of accounts. It's much simpler to have fewer accounts. You don't need this. If you're just living in the UK, you just really need a pension and a stocks and shares ISA for most people. I've got a lot of accounts, which makes it a bit more of a job tracking it all. But essentially, in every single one of my important accounts, all I do is just hold one low-cost global index fund or ETF. So when I moved to Australia, through my workplace pension, through Vanguard Australia, I just found essentially the most similar version of the FTSE Global All Cap as possible, and I just put all my money every month into that. But going back down, you can then see investment by type. I've then got 19% in crypto. So that actually was about 10% a month ago. And with the recent boom with Trump being elected and being the Bitcoin president and all this sort of stuff, crypto's gone on a bit of a tear. It does do this from time to time. So that now makes up 19% of my portfolio, which is much more than it did a couple of months ago. Similar approach there. If we scroll up, you can see my crypto split, and most of my money is in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I've got a little bit of CRO. So CRO, I literally have that because I have the crypto.com like prepaid card, and yeah, you have to stake money to get the card that I've got, which is the Indigo one, and you get perks of that. But that's why I've the 7% in CRO, and the rest of it is Bitcoin and Ethereum, which I literally buy every single month on crypto.com, and I've done that as well now for 4 or 5 years. I've then got 0.4% in individual stocks, 0.8% in one private investment, and 0.1% in cash just sitting on my Vanguard Australia account. So yeah, you can literally see essentially 80% is in index funds and ETFs, all global ones, and then 19% is in crypto, mainly Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then the rest is immaterial. Good accounting term there. What I quite like to look at is this stock market portfolio bit. So you can see really that when it comes to the stock market, so excluding crypto, literally 99% of my money is in index funds and ETFs, and essentially all of them are low-cost index funds and ETFs in my various investing accounts. If you then scroll down a little bit further, I then have this compounding projection bit, which I quite like. You can see roughly over 10, 30, 50 years at different rates of return and what I can expect to end up with. And that really is my total investment portfolio. If I scroll back up to the top though, the reason why it's useful excluding your pensions is because this now here, this chart on the right, is essentially all of my investments that are accessible. So you can see, and I actually crossed a big milestone recently, I've got now 6 figures, £102,000 in accessible money. So essentially in my stocks and shares ISA and my various general investment accounts. Of course, with general investment accounts, there may be some tax implications when I sell and withdraw. I probably won't for a while, but with my stocks and shares ISA, it's completely tax-free whenever I want access to money. So I crossed that big milestone. You can see that, yeah, most of my money, of that accessible money, there's £74,000, which is mainly in low-cost global index funds and ETFs, and I've then got about £28,000 now in crypto, which is actually a lot. That's genuinely doubled, I think, in the last few months because crypto's been on a mad run. I then have £43,000 in total locked up in my various pensions. So I've got a UK workplace pension, an Australia one. I've also got a UK SIP. That money is obviously inaccessible until further down the line, but I still do like to include it to get to my full total of £146,000. And just coming back down to this graph here, so this now includes my pensions again. On the right here, that's really everything that I invest into. My previous video actually covered a lot of the investing mistakes that I made in the early days, and I've been investing now for over 7 years. I accidentally got started investing when I got auto-enrolled into a workplace pension over 7 years ago. Then I properly started investing just over 6 years ago. But I've now been essentially had my money invested for just over 7 years, and really all I've done, as I mentioned already, my approach is just to cost average, invest every single month part of my 9 to 5 salary in my various global index funds and ETFs, and then put a bit of extra money in crypto on the side every month as well, and then buy and hold for long term, ignore the noise, ignore all the mad stuff going on in the world, keep contributing as much as I can, and then hold for the long term. I recently went on quite a few podcasts to promote the book, which you should get for Christmas present, stocking filler. Go and get it now, Amazon. And Atto, one of my good mates, he described, because I was explaining my crypto approach, and he put it very well, that it's a calculated risk what I'm taking. Don't get me wrong, I've now got over 20 grand in crypto. If it goes to zero, I'll be pretty upset. That's a lot of money. But at the same time, if it goes to zero, I've still got 6 figures plus in my global index funds and ETFs. So I'm taking a calculated risk where if it goes to zero, it's not going to ruin my life, although I probably will cry. But if it goes to the moon and changes the world and becomes a global currency, then I've also got some, so I'll be fine either way. I get some comments these days saying I'm now out of touch with people because my investment portfolio is, well, it's nearly £150,000, which is mental. But it's worth saying this hasn't happened overnight. If you look back on my YouTube videos and all my Instagram posts, when this was a few £1,000s and I was investing a few £100 a month, I was still trying to be transparent and share everything. And I think, yeah, being transparent just helps out because then you know exactly what I'm investing into. You can do something similar to me. You can do whatever you want. It's your money, and that's the beauty of investing. But yeah, this of course didn't happen overnight. It's been consistent contributions every single month for the last 7 years, and it was really when I qualified as a chartered accountant and I got a big pay rise that I've really been able to sort of invest more and more every single month for the last 3 years. Another thing that I do separately also in this spreadsheet is that I actually track how much I invest every single month, and I've done this since I started investing, and I would definitely recommend you do it. Set up the months, set up your different pots, stocks and shares ISA, crypto, pension, whatever it is, and every single month track how much you're investing. It's really motivating because now when I look back from years and years ago, I can see that this year I'm investing so much more, and of course as my salary goes up over time from my 9 to 5 job, I generally try and invest more. As I make other income from other income streams like making money simple, I once again try and invest more. So this year, something I'm actually really proud of is 11 of the 12 months, I invested 4 figures. 4 figures plus, so over £1,000. Don't get me wrong, a lot of the months are literally, like February was £1,044, March was £1,031, but I'm really happy that, yeah, 11 of the 12 months I have been able to invest 4 figures, and one of the only things in our control as investors is your contributions. You can't control the money supply or what companies are going to do or what products coming out by Apple, but you can control how much you're paying in fees, number one, and secondly, how much you can actually contribute. And of course, the more you can contribute, the quicker you can build your pot. Which is why if you are able to literally increase your income, invest more, increase your income, invest more, that's what I've done over the last 7 years. And that's really how I've been able to build this portfolio. As you can see, nothing I'm doing is complicated. Different investing accounts, a global fund in each account, invest every month and hold for the long term. That's all I do. And now I try and spread the word of simple investing through making money simple. But yeah, I'm now sort of rambling on. I know it's probably only here to see how much I've got invested and what I invest into. And we covered that about 10 minutes ago. So I hope this video's been helpful. Yeah, 100th video, which is absolutely mental. Whether this is the first one you've watched on mine or you've been here since the start, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'll have more content coming out. So yeah, subscribe down below. Thanks for watching and have a good day.